some technical problems
What's
where
going on?
people could hear our little chat that we had. So, but that's fine. We never said we
How
never
could
said
people hear
anything
it?
naughty, so it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry.
Good to see us.
So okay, so we are now with the two lovely guys. But before we go into the quick Q&A and discussion about the program, I would just like to introduce them. They don't really need introduction, but I'm going to start with top corner, Sayyid Hussain Makke. He, I've known him for ages. He's done a lot of documentaries together. He's been in Hausa almost a decade, mashallah, and he is currently continuing his work. Maybe you can introduce some more of the stuff that you're doing as we talk. But he's writing books, he's teaching, he's traveling the world and helping to change community. And Hajj Mulla Ali Fadhil doesn't really need an introduction. He's been active in the community for 15 years. He's a pioneer in the recitation and progression of the Shia poetry and nasheed and so forth and so on. Inshallah, at the end of the program, we'll have opportunity to appreciate some of his beautiful voice. Let's see what the questions are. So we asked the audience who watched it, because this documentary is not really online. We utilized it to bring everyone together so that we can everybody is in a different state of situation than we were a year ago, right? So people can't
Mm.
travel, people can't go to Ziyarah. Um, people
Mm.
can't go to Ziyarah, but we still need to remember Imam Hussein. And mashallah, Brother Ali Fadhil is doing amazing stuff with, I think it's Haraka. Is it Haraka Husseiniya?
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, you guys are constant, mashallah, throughout almost every week. You have programs, even when it wasn't Muharram and Ramadan. So that's something that was almost you were kind of envisioning that it might come a point where we can't go to Karbala for a short while. So you maintain the spirit of Imam Hussein's message online. And Brother Makki, you know, Muharram, Ramadan, all of these times that we couldn't travel, you were constant, active through media and social media, different parts of the world. So I want to try and answer some of the questions that we have. If anyone in the audience has any more questions, if you could put it into the live chat that we have in the on the side, and then I can check the questions, ask him. I'll start with some questions that were asked in Facebook earlier. So I'll start with Mulla Ali Fadhil. What sort of understanding? So don't forget, this documentary we produced. We produced this. We filmed it 6 years ago. I just realized it's 6 years old. So
Wow.
every
6, is
time
that it?
Brother Hussein,
Is that it?
Wow.
Hussein sees it, he's like, "What's going on?
Oh my
I was
God.
really young back then, and
I
Man,
was
I
you're
really
don't.
not even that
thin.
old compared to me.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
my
six
Ali,
God.
years ago.
you look better now, Ali, man.
Yeah, 100 times, I
Yeah,
think.
Ali
100,
hasn't
100,
Ali hasn't
100%.
Skinny back
aged at
then.
all.
Yeah, but
He
my
hasn't aged at
hairline
all,
is
mashallah.
gone. It's all gone.
I was gonna say that, but I thought you attacked
Actually,
my
what?
baldness, so I stayed
You know what?
quiet.
What did happen to your hair? You had a lot of it, mashallah.
Bro, what? I've been living in Lebanon, man. Would you blame
Oh,
me?
okay. I can understand. Can understand. Those trips were the trips where you used to sit next to me and we used to like create tunes and poems and put it together.
Bro,
And
Ali,
then
do
be
you know
like, yeah,
right now?
if you do it this way, if you do it that way, if you do it. Oh, man.
Ali, right now, you know, I just remembered. I'm looking at the names here. I see Hussain Makke, Reza Vedadi, and Ali Maya. And I remembered our first,
Wait, I should change that.
our first ziyarah. And I see on the hotel room, I'm in a room with Ali Maya. I was like, who is this Ali Maya guy, bro? I want to be with Ali Fadhil, man.
Oh, good times, man. Good times.
I
So,
miss it.
question. What was it?
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So we'll go to Brother Ali Fadhil. What sort of understanding one must have before going to visit Karbala? This is Karbala, but I suppose you would use the same methodology for any ziyarah place.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, look, on a more serious note, I guess, I think I genuinely think this question should be for Sayyid Hussein. But I mean, from my own personal experience, I think ma'rifah comes a lot into this, knowing who you're going to, because the more you learn about this person that you're visiting. Everyone's talking about this person. Let's just keep it generic and ziyarah based, and Imam al-Hussein, as in all of the imams and the Prophet, right? When it comes to visiting these people, is it, I'm going because my friends are going, I'm going because I know it's a bit of a lads trip and it's a fun trip for the way all the guys come together and we can walk, and I know that I've heard a lot of stories about people eating on the way and some miracles, and at the end of that there's a ziyarah, and at the end of all that there's Imam al-Hussein. So ma'rifah comes into it a lot, I think, and knowing who you're going to. So if it's Imam al-Hussein, what was his stance? What did he stand for? What was his story? Just even if you don't want, even if you're not interested in the whole political side of things, or the whole social justice side of things, or the whole principle side of things, if you just understand what his story was, just that alone can really prepare you for who you're visiting and shape the way your attitude for that visit. For example, Abu Fadl Abbas, if you just read his story, when you go there, you'd be like, wow, this he was the guy, he was the man. And because you know that story, the way you approach Abu Fadl Abbas is like reverence, right? It depends on your relationship with the imams and with the companions, with Abu Fadl Abbas and so on and so forth. But for me, preparing myself for Imam al-Hussein is like, okay, look, the whole year we've been in your service, and this is the time where I get to almost like meet my father. A lot of people say meeting Imam Ali alayhi salam and going for ziyarah for Imam Ali alayhi salam is like meeting your father. For me, Imam al-Hussein is my father. He's the one that اللي رباني يعني. He's the one that brought me up, you know? So that's the way I see. So preparing is knowing who I'm going to go to, who I'm going to visit, reading about just a story. For me, only for me anyway. It could be different for other people. There could be more esoteric and mystic meanings behind it. But for me personally, if I'm just want to read the story. Who is this guy? What did he stand up for? And what can I learn from him? And that's how I can approach the ziyarah, building up towards that. There are obviously many more ways of preparing, but that's just from my personal experience.
Beautiful.
Hussein, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I do. I think when it comes to Imam Hussain alayhi salam, the beauty of it, for those who grew up in the love of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, and for those who converted into Islam and then learnt about him anew, we see in the narrations of the Ahlul Bayt, when it comes to several of the Imams, Imam Reza alayhi salam says to one of the companions, Ya ibn Shabib, in kunta bakiyan fabki al-Hussein. He says, O Ibn Shabib, if you are crying, then cry for Abu Abdullah alayhi salam, cry for Imam Hussein. That means anything you're going through in life, whatever heartbreak, whatever tragedy, whatever problem that you have, if you find yourself crying, your mother has died, your father has died, and you're crying, at that moment, remember Imam Hussein alayhi salam and cry for him. Again and again, we see the Imams emphasizing this act and tradition of crying for Imam al-Hussein. And this was a genius act that was propagated by Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, that Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam wanted the people to cry for him afterwards, that Imam Sajjad alayhi salam wanted the people to cry for Abu Abdullah. Because when we cry for Imam al-Hussein, although that he does not benefit from any of our tears, what happens is we are attaching ourselves emotionally to this person. And when you attach yourself emotionally to the point that all of your tragedies are intertwined with his and your heart is intertwined with his, then you start to love what he went towards. So you start looking at his sacrifice, you start not fearing death because someone that you loved, like Abu Abdullah, did not fear death. The Imams again and again spoke about this to the point that they would say, Inna li jaddi al-Hussein fi qulub al-mu'minin hararatun la tabrudu abada. In the hearts of the believers, for my grandfather, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, is a burning sensation that will never cool down. So then you're becoming this person, even if you don't have that knowledge about the Imam, you're attached to the Imam. So a 12-year-old who doesn't have much ma'rifah, mystical ma'rifah, as Ali was saying, about the Imam, but he has that emotional attachment to him because of that story, because of the story that he knows of Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. But it's not just knowledge, it's this emotional attachment. So then when he goes there, it's like he's going to meet someone that he already knows, that he has this relationship with, that he's going to go to build upon, finally meeting them. I remember my first ziyarah, I was sitting with someone, he said, man, my whole life, I say, when I stand up, I say, Ya Ali. When I sit down, I say, Ya Ali. When I want to pick anything up, I say, Ya Ali. And right now, he's right there. He's buried right there. And I get to go and speak to him and see him right now. His body is just very close. So this is the emotional aspect. Then comes the ma'rifah that Hajj Ali was talking about, where one can keep increasing this in their progress towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That once you combine the emotional aspect with the thought aspect, and the thought that, so you have to know his goals. So you see that he preserved the honor of Islam. You see how he gave the woman her role back in the Muslim ummah. You see how he provoked the will of the Muslims to wake up after being ruled by the Umayyad dynasty for 20 years. You see how he became a symbol of resistance for generations to come. 1,000 years till now, shuhada still shout his name, Ya Hussain, before they go to fight against injustice and give their lives. And you see, ultimately, his main goal of emerging for the islah, the reformation, al-islah fi ummati jaddi, the islah in the ummah of my grandfather, in the nation of my grandfather, not in Medina, not in Kufa, not in any city, but in the nation for Islam. So this was an Islamic movement. So then you fall more and more in love with Islam itself. So then, although this person is a symbol for all of humanity, he's also a symbol for Islam itself, because what he did mainly was for Islam. So then you bring this person in as a symbol for all of these different goals. You're emotionally attached now to all of these goals, and then you begin to implement them in your daily life.
Thank you very much. Beautiful. I remember that every time you say you see this documentary, you say that you've changed a lot. So
I can't watch it, man. I can't watch it myself. I just feel like when I'm talking, I just want to slap myself, man. Just
yeah.
Oh, Ali, you agree? You're not supposed to agree.
No, I agree, because I'm in the same boat. It's like, are you serious? Did you really just say that? Like, of all the things that you could have said, like, come on, man. I grew up. We were young. Come on, 6 years ago.
Yeah. It was cute though.
It was.
So this concept of ma'rifah, understanding Imam Hussain, right? If we take that further, Imam Zaman is, so we as Shia, Ethna Ashari, believe that the 12th Imam, infallible Imam, Imam Mahdi, peace be upon him, and may Allah hasten his appearance, he's alive and living. And so we need to have a connection and relationship with him as much as we can, similar to how the companions of the Imam Hussain had with him. So as much as we always say we wish we were there, we would do this, we would do that, we're not. It's not going to happen like that, but there is an Imam who's alive. How, someone asks, how do we build a relationship to serve the current Imam like the 72 companions were so devoted to Imam Hussain at that time? And Hajj Ali, if you could start us off.
Yeah, I think it's, again, I'm more of a practical way. The same way we have, for example, a 10-night commemoration for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, and of course, deservedly so. I'd love to see, for example, we have 10 nights commemorated to the remembrance of Imam Mahdi, and it's just, I feel like there's so much emphasis that's placed on imams and their commemoration. So, but not much emphasis is given to the Imam Mahdi being the special one, and one who will return to bring justice to the earth, and so on and so forth. And even actually that connection that we have with the Imam, it's just the same as the other Imams, but that's not the case. And again, from a more practical perspective, in terms of how can we actually do this, strengthening the connection, how can we actually strengthen the connection on a day-to-day basis rather than the whole theory behind it? I genuinely feel like we should have either monthly sessions, or it should be during his birth, a 10-day remembrance of the Imam. What can we do? The steps to take, I don't know, the lessons that we can learn. But there should be an extra added, I feel like there's an extra added kind of emphasis on the Imam. rather than, oh, it's just his birth, let's just do a celebration together. Yeah, Imam Mahdi is away, we're all crying. It's the same old stuff every year, but nothing practical is actually happening. And also, by the way, just another way, I'm not sure if you guys read this or seen it recently, and I don't know if I'm going to get vilified for doing so, but I was just listening to I was watching a program called The Social Dilemma. You guys seen it, heard of it
today?
Yeah.
It's mind blowing, but of course there are many questions that arise from that. But this is the system that the Imam is going to be coming into, and so there's a lot on his plate for him to be able to. And I actually started asking questions, thinking, if the Imam appears, and if he's going to come and in the state and the form that we've been known in the hadiths and the narrations for him to be coming, he's got a big battle. And I know, of course, God's on his side, and you know, there's going to be miracles that happen, and the Imam, hasha, I even doubt. But I'd love to know. The thing is, the reason why I mention it is because let's understand the world that we're in first and foremost, and then understand the power of the Imam, and then trying to kind of link the two in a way. But yeah, two things essentially to improve your connection. I think have more sessions remembering him. For his birth, do 10 days Mehdawiya, you want to call it Ashra Mehdawiya, whatever you want to call it, but have 10 days of programs, targeted approach with kids, make them understand, even weekly sessions, just like this is the Imam, improve relationship. The same way the companions gave their life to Imam al-Hussein, we have to have that same fervor, that same passion for the Imam. How to do it? Many different ways, but at least knowing the world that you live in might have an effect on it, I think.
Said Hussein, do you think that there's this concept where people say, for example, when I get married, I'm going to start praying, I'm going to start doing good things, right? I want to find a religious wife. When Imam Mahdi comes, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Now, as someone who works with youth, and you're helping train youth, and you're getting them to a level of peak in their abilities and stuff, is it something that you prepare from now until the expected time of importance, or is it something like you delay, and somehow, because Imam Mahdi comes, you know the difference between right and wrong, haq and batil, and you know that I have to do my salah on time, I have to have halal in my life, have to stay away from haram? Or is it something that you can start practicing from now to prepare?
I mean, if you think about anything in the world, if you want to be mature and logical, whether it's business, whether it's any field of work, you don't just throw anyone into any field and expect them to perform. We go through our whole lives in school, and we go to university, and then we go take a master's or a PhD or whatever else, and we have to have tons of experience to apply to any job. Architecture, or even a laborer, has to have experience and has to know what he's doing. To think that the penultimate destiny of mankind, of the Imam returning, and all of this coming to a close, that someone can just automatically be ready for it when the time comes and just change himself, is laughable. It's laughable, because there's nothing that one has to prepare more for than this. In our traditions, the Ahlul Bayt tell us that Imam al-Mahdi actually has companions that know him and are with him right now. And you can only imagine, generation after generation, how he loses many of these companions, and then he gains other companions. We wish to be of those companions, that there are people on earth that do know him. And we see how Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam went with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. She was a 50-year-old woman, and she had children, and she had a husband, and she left with him because he's her Imam, not because he's her brother. Abu Fadl Abbas did not drink the water because that's his Imam, the loyalty to his Imam before his brother. So our Imam also needs Abu Fadl Abbas, also needs a Zainab, also needs a Qasim. And those roles are there for us to take. So I've said this before in my lectures, the story is already set. And the ending, we know what the ending is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant victory to the Imam. But all that's up for grabs is if you want to be a main character in this story. the characters are there. There's a void, and if you want to be a main character, you can apply, and you have to work for that. And the way in which you apply for that, you want to train. You don't go to university. You don't go to get work experience. The way you do that is, one is on a community level, and Mulla Ali spoke about how we can do that. Secondly, is on a personal level, and that's why Sheikh Bajad says that before experiencing the main faraj of the Imam when he returns to everyone, there is a personal faraj that someone can experience, where you can experience the return of the Imam personally. And how do you do that? You do that by building this connection with him, and the Imams told us how. So the dua that changed my life when I was a teenager, and that was basically the trigger to bring me towards practicing my religion seriously, was dua al-ahd, which is a dua of the covenant that you make with Imam Mahdi, that you recite for 40 mornings in a row after Salat al-Fajr. 40 mornings in a row, you recite this dua. It's a short dua. Type it on YouTube, and if you don't understand Arabic, there'll be English subtitles there, and you can read along with the reciter. And Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says that whoever recites this dua for 40 mornings in a row sincerely, even if death comes between you and the Imam, then you will be raised with the Imam when the time comes. That means even death cannot separate you from the Imam, that you're going to be there for him because you prepared for him. So it's literally set out for us. The traditions tell us how to do this. Dua Nutbah on Friday mornings, Dua al-Ahd every morning. To have the Imam there as your companion. There's a difference between Shia Islam and every other religion on earth. Henry Corbin, the French philosopher, has said that the reason why Shi'ism is different is because their leader, according to them, is still alive. And this sets them apart from every other religious tradition on earth, because every single other one has leaders that have perished, that have died, whether they're on earth or not. So Jesus is not on earth. Moses is dead. Rasulullah has passed away. All the different prophets have died. Krishna, Vishnu, and everyone else. The Buddha, they're not here. But Shi'ism, the Shia believe Imam Mahdi is on earth in the same realm that we are in, which means this religion is still active. It's still ongoing. It's not a tradition that is received and now we're trying to practice it without our leader. That the leader is here and active, and he's a personal teacher to us if we reach out to him. So this is what sets us apart from the rest of the world.
That's a wonderful answer. Thank you so much. Before I go into the next question for Brother Ali, if anyone has any questions that they would like to ask, we're continuing until just before 9. And you can ask it in the chat, and inshallah I'll put the question through to one of the panelists. Brother Ali, you've been numerous times. I myself went with you numerous times, and obviously you've gone numerous times other than that, mashallah and alhamdulillah. Every time you went, someone asks, what, from your experience, your life has changed, you've evolved, you've grown, what is the best thing to ask when you have visited Imam Hussain, you're in the presence of Karbala and Imam Hussain? What is the best dua? What is the best thing to ask Allah in that state?
I guess people go through different scenarios and feelings and emotions and experiences going into ziyarah. For example, people can have a massive hajj. I know, for example, a friend of mine who couldn't have children, and he spoke to the Imam frankly and in a very honest way. He said to the Imam, look, every single year I come and I visit, and I write my name as part of the people that visit, and thank you for blessing me with that, but I'm not getting any children, so please could you help me? And he spoke to him in a very honest way. Could you intercede maybe for me, or and help in this regard? And subhanAllah, the next year he managed to have a young girl, not only a young girl, but a young girl that was born on Ashura Day. So people come in with different emotions, different feelings, and different things. And I guess it feels, for me, it feels like the first time you see the Kaaba, apparently you have 3 wishes that are granted, and it feels like the most powerful moment, the biggest connection that I really feel is when you've just arrived after a long walk, you're exhausted, and you just feel like, look, Imam, count me. For me personally, it's just count me as one of your servants, or count me as when you are remembering your Shia on the Day of Judgment, just mention my name. Don't even mention my name. Just think of me. That's it. That's all I want. For me, that's for me personally. Again, people could have different things coming into their lives in different situations. People could have debt. I don't know what it was. It could be superficial stuff, and it could be stuff that's a bit more higher level and very, very personal to them. But for me, it's just on that day when the names are being called out, or on that day where maybe I'm alone and there's no one around there to help me, 6 feet under. I don't know. Just on that day when I know that I'm going to need someone's help. On that day, just mention me. That's it. That's for me personally anyway. I mean, I could ask for Jannah, I could ask for the world, I could ask for anything. But I know for a fact if the Imam remembers you on that day, then you're sorted.
Ali, does it remind you of anything, that the idea of when you're in your grave and you're calling for Imam Hussain? Does it give you any memory at all?
Does it have to? I'm trying to remember some stuff, but
do you remember me and your ride back in the car listening to the nasheed about when life ends and one is being...
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
We cried the whole way back. Al-Aboudi?
Yeah, I forgot his name, Ya Rabbi.
Yeah.
I remember the tune. You know the tune. You must know the tune.
A really sad look. Yeah. Something.
Okay, I'm gonna remember it.
Put the poor guy on the spot. He can't remember it.
No, I'm trying to remember. No, he knows the tune.
I know the tune.
It's in my head. It's in my head. I'm singing it in my head, but I can't connect the...
It's such a beautiful atmiya about when life ends and I'm going to the grave. Just write on my tombstone that I was one of your zawar. And me and Ali, there was one ziyarah, and then we were taking our ride back in a taxi to the hotel, and we were pointing on the whole way. We were in each other's arms, and we were crying a lot. And the funny thing is, me and Ali we didn't know each other before ziyarah. So on ziyarah is when we became very, very close. And our brotherhood was built on the love of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. So that's something else that ziyarah does for you. It gives you friends, lifelong friends, that even if you did not know them before, your hearts, they know each other because they love the same.
Yeah, that was
that's interesting. When I went Hajj, first time I went Hajj, someone said to me, you can ask when it's first time you see the Kaaba, you can ask Allah for whatever you want. Singular.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was three. So I missed out on 2 wishes.
Man, I didn't even know there's any.
Oh no, you missed.
No, I know. No, I know for a fact that if you see the Kaaba, the first time you see it, that's why, by the way, for the preparation and when they're gathering you all together for the first time you see the Kaaba, it's another level of experience, by the way. I've seen shrines, but I've also seen the Kaaba.
I agree.
I think because the Kaaba, you're in such a close proximity to the sheer size of it. For the Imams, the dome is fantastic. I'd love to be next to the dome and have that close proximity with the dome or the minarets, because that's what gives it its grandeur. But for me, that's why they prepare you. They put you on one side behind the pillar and they say, listen, guys, according to the narrations, as soon as you see the Kaaba, the first 3 things.
Yeah.
I heard it was 3. Now I don't know about yours. You got shortchanged, I think.
I don't know about any, man. I didn't know.
Someone was stealing 2 wishes from you.
Didn't get any. Someone asked. I don't know if because me and Hussain, we did a lot of the walk together, but Brother Ali, you might have had a different experience. On the walk, they said this is interesting because they go, did the director and the crew. The director was the crew. First of all, it was a one-man band. it was, and obviously Hussain did a lot of the presenting. But did any of you guys meet non-Muslims there? I remember we met people from Algeria.
There's a delegation. There are delegations that come and visit, but I don't remember actually seeing a non-Muslim. I think there's the Iraqi Christians that come out and show their respect.
Yeah, we've seen loads of pictures
Jews.
of those. Yes.
Yeah, they'd come out, but I don't remember seeing, unless it's a journalist or a photographer or a famous personality. that would come actually to the ziyarah.
Yeah, I remember
I didn't.
seeing some Europeans. I don't know if they're Muslim or not, but they're definitely not Arab or Iranian, or from
Yeah, there was
they're
some
definitely not
there was
Khoja
some
or
brothers.
Pakistani.
There were some brothers from the African American African community in America that went a year or two ago.
Yeah, yeah.
They even did a rap, and then the Iraqis were looking at them, baffled with what they're saying.
Really?
And so, but they were
Wow.
doing a rap about Yazid, and it was crazy. A final question before we go into the beautiful recitation of poetry by our brother Ali. I haven't seen him for a long time, so I'm looking forward to this a lot myself. The program will
I'm not
finish now,
reciting. Yeah,
so
I'm just giving you a poem.
Are you gonna recite a poem?
No, as in I'm gonna.
Then you're gonna read
I feel
it.
like I feel like I want to read it.
Iqra,
Or
you're
do you
gonna
want me
read it.
to?
That's reciting
Yeah.
the same as reading. Yeah, you don't have to do your.
Oh.
It's okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
just simple reciting is fine. What was I gonna say? Actually, you know what? Let's give you the time you need to recite your poetry, and if there's any few minutes left after that, we'll continue. But I'll give you that time so you're not rushed, so you can read your poetry.
Okay, I'll recite. Man, come on, so much pressure. I'll try it, but it's hard. Like I don't have no mic.
No pressure, bro.
Look at my background.
Are you gonna recite? You're gonna read?
No, just.
I don't know what's the difference now. I don't know what the difference is now. I'm
We want to
lost.
hear.
So.
We want to hear your voice, mate, because I could have read it.
Okay, but I can read.
Oh, that was quite deep.
Fair enough,
Yalla,
fair
yalla.
enough. But you don't have the
Allah.
poem.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
Oh, am I reciting? Allahumma salli ala
اللهم
Muhammad wa
صل
ali Muhammad.
على محمد وآل محمد وعجل
Are we
فرجهم.
answering our question or what am I saying?
No, we're
No, I
gonna
want
listen
you
to you,
to
inshallah,
recite.
if you're ready.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
When you're ready.
Ya Allah.
Okay. Excuse me. They say how much I've been dreaming. Daily my heart screaming. Say, eyes are begging me, saying we want to see. Say, my feet they keep walking, thinking they'll be reaching. Say, my body's calling you. It comes running to you. Say, Karbala, 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 you've stolen my body away from my Maya in Karbala, 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 till I see you, I'm walking deaf and blind. اللهم ارزقنا كربلاء بحق سيد الشهداء. Far away from his dome, yet home is by his dome. Say, I leave with him my heart, when from him I depart. Say, I step over death's head, and through death I shall head. Say, your shrine is worth my death, your name worth my last breath. Say, Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. Even death shakes when I mention your name. Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. Because even the dead walk calling Hussain. Allahumma arzuqna Karbala بحق سيد الشهداء.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل
اللهم
محمد.
ارزقنا كربلاء بحق السيد الشهداء. I think in the last couple of minutes, we'll leave it to the last comments. But many thanks to the poet Nouri Saada. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
That was so beautiful.
Habibi.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
That's a track that I think I used in the documentary, right?
Oh, did you?
Towards the end, yeah. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful track. That's like that
Yeah.
always brings back memories
It's
of
a really nice
Arbaeen. I want to thank the audience for helping out. I want to thank LYF for helping organize this event. Any projects that you're working on, Brother Hussain, before we leave, that you'd like to tell the audience about? Other than the long awaited In Search of the Sacred.
That's the one in Malaysia, right? Or Indonesia?
Yeah, all over the place, actually. Malaysia, Indonesia, yeah, several different countries. Wallah, I've got 10 million projects, and my problem is I never finish them. So, mashallah, but they don't finish. So, I actually just ask that the people pray that both me and Ali can finish our projects, inshallah. So hopefully that these last few years of where we have been giving our all and training those coming after us, hopefully that they have a positive result for the community that we can give for generations to come.
And how can people get involved with the Haraka Hussainiya, Brother Ali? What are the things that you're looking for that people can get with?
Wallah, we're just looking for at the moment subscribers, because it then gives us, from a YouTube perspective, more tools to make the user experience of YouTube a bit more enhanced. So right now it's just spread the word, guys. There's some lovely content on Haraka. It's all grassroots stuff as well. So we're really working with select youth who have come to us and showed a passion for serving the community, I guess. And so we're working with them and their specialities, be it media, be it speaking, be it research. So yeah, right now it's just word of mouth. Get people to tune in. The good thing about Haraka is every week, so we're consistent with that. And tomorrow, actually, we have a program commemorating the Istishhad of Imam Reza alayhi salam at 8:30 p.m. UK time.
That's wonderful.
So
That's
tune
wonderful. Inshallah, and they can find maybe details of it on your Facebook page. Maybe we can put a post for them later. Links.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
So if they go to Ali Fadhil in Facebook, there will be links there, inshallah. Because someone asked, what is the YouTube link for Haraka Hussainiya? I think we'll put that up for them. And then their Instagram, because I know you guys are very active on Instagram. But then I think some people might not know that's something that you can sit down and watch program on. So they usually go to YouTube. So inshallah, we can encourage them more to utilize the YouTube channel more like we are now using YouTube and trying to get people to be active that way. So I'll get that, inshallah, we'll get the link on Ali Fadhil's Facebook page. So if you search for Ali Fadhil's Facebook page, inshallah, that will be there. And thank you so much, guys. I had some poetry that I was going to read, not recite. So I'm just going to lead it out with my poetry that I'm going to read because I'm not a reciter, obviously. But let me put my glasses on. When you hit 40.
MashaAllah.
Thank you. So this poetry goes back to 2015. When the world turns its back, your love welcomes me. When fear overtakes, your name strengthens me. When hope is but a word, your light calms me. When hearts break, your story reminds me. When all doors are closed, your shrine takes me. When direction is lost, your footsteps guide me. When we fall, your sacrifice raises me. When salvation is lost, you will save me. So with that, I want to thank you guys. It's wonderful being on same screen as you again. It's been quite a long time.
Yeah,
God gives us the opportunity to produce bigger and more adventurous projects.
Inshallah.
And Arbaeen 2, maybe Arbaeen Part 2.
Inshallah.
Thank you so much.
6 years wiser, apparently.
And less hair.
Speak for yourself, my
success
brother.
to the programs that you have. And thank you so much for participating. And thank
Pleasure.
you to LYF for organizing. Take care, guys. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum. Salam, brothers.
Wait, Hussein and Reza, wait.